Okay, so today we're going to be making a wizardry cape for a doll, and this would work for pretty much any doll as long as you have a large enough sheet of paper. You just need a sheet of paper, a pencil, your doll of choice. This could be a Barbie doll. This is a Rainbow High doll. And what we're going to do is we're just going to trace our doll. We're going to end it approximately right here. We want a nice long cape. We don't want to trace it like right next to the doll, although you could do that, then move your doll and widen it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to stand up so I can see. I want to make this a little bit of something like that. This doll is quite a bit more curvy than some of the dolls that I have, so she comes straight down. She got cute little hips. I like her hips. She's like me. There'll be plenty of extra room for the seam allowance. Something like that. And I can always take this back a little more if I don't like that. So I'm just gonna make it a triangle instead of a curve. Sometimes that can look a little weird. So here, I'm getting kind of close to the neck, just to draw where the neckline should be. Straight across. All right, now I will add a little bit of a seam allowance to this. Can't hardly see that. So straight down, straight across. Now I want a little bit of a seam allowance. So something basically like this. Now you can, this part here will be the fold. We'll put that on the fold. Then I do want to add seam allowance. So seam allowance pretty small so that it doesn't cause any issues. So it doesn't have to be exact perfect. You can draw it out exactly perfect if you want. But I'm going to cut this out. This will be the fold, so I don't have to sew a seam there. And then we'll go from there. Okay, so then you want to find the center point for the top and the bottom. Fold it in half. And I got pretty close, except this sleeve is longer than this one, so I'm just going to cut this one back a little bit. Yeah, now it's all even and we're ready to cut it out. All right, so I've got my fabric, and this is a full sheet of fabric, and then I am placing a fold in the center and placing this on the fold itself. I was thinking, let's save some fabric. All right, and there's that. Now I'm not going to make a hood for mine because the rainbow high dolls have, you know, the big heads. Plus mine has a lot of extra hair, a lot of them do. So a hood is just gonna get bunched up behind her neck and it's not really gonna show. So I'm just going to do one without a hood. You can add a hood, and a hood kind of looks like, so you can create one kind of like this. And where you would fold this in half and sew down that line, and then this would be where it attaches to your hood. You could gather it and attach it to the back edge of the back of the robe. You could also, that's probably the best way. That's probably the best way. Pretty simple. All right, I've got that out. So the first thing I'm gonna do is open it out, and I'm gonna hem this side, that side, and that side. I'm gonna just do a simple fold over hem and sew that down. All right, so I've got both of those sides stitched and both of those sides stitched. I used a sewing machine, but you don't have to. These would be very simple to just in and out stitching with a needle and thread. It wouldn't take very long at all. If you do decide to do that, I would make sure your stitches are pretty tight together, not tight together, but close together, so that you don't get any fraying, because the hem width is not very wide. All right, so now I'm gonna flip this over so that the right side is on the inside, and now we're just going to stitch this side and this side, and then we'll move on to the neck. All right, now that I have that stitched all around the edge, trim up my threads. I'm going to trim these little excess fabric sticking out here on both of these. All right, now then, we have that. I'm going to mark my neckline. And then, let's see, go ahead and mark the center line. This is just on the front, just on one side. Okay, now then. All right. I'm going to cut one side. Make sure you don't cut through both layers. All right. Now at the neckline, we're going to cut, I'm just going to make a little kind of a, hopefully you can see that, just a little bit of a roundness there. And we're going to cut through both pieces. Okay. And then for the front, I'm going to cut out this little triangle. There's that. And now we can turn this right side out, but be careful that you're not pulling on those stitches or pulling on the neckline too much. Well, I forgot to do something. I forgot to trim. So before you pull this inside out, you're going to have to trim. You're going to have to cut right up to the stitching right there, and a couple more so that the armpit doesn't cause any problems. So we've got several little cuts in there. Make sure you don't cut through your stitches. Just cut right up to the stitches. Now then. And that will prevent there being like big darts right there underneath the armpit. Now then, you can iron this down so that it will stay out the right way. I would recommend it. And then the last thing we got to do is we have to hem this line, but I would use a very thin hem, so get it as close as you can. Okay, so I just tried this on my doll, and I could have gone a little longer with the sleeves just because of, you know, how stiff this fabric is. I mean, it still fits her. But I am going to cut, there's plenty of extra, so I can make this a normal size. And then I'm going to cut a little bit more off there so that she has more of a V-neck there. So I think that's the only thing I'm going to change, and then I'm going to stitch. Alright, so there is the finished robe, and we'll just try it on her one more time. Right, my girl has her robes on. All right, she is ready. The only thing I want to do is make her a scarf probably, and I don't have any blue fabric, but I do have this Ravenclaw little tie. It's like from a birthday party, and so I think I'm going to create a little scarf for her, but I think I'm going to use this side for the fabric, and then I will paint on some lines because this is too big. Plus it has this, so there's not going to be quite enough. So I think that'll be cute. Alright, so I'm just going to take this piece and fold it in half. Stitch down one side and then flip it right side out. Alright, so I'm just going to put a safety pin through one side there. I'm going to feed it through. Oh. And then all I want to do is press that, and then I can start painting. She's gonna be cute. All right, that's it. I like it. I might take these sleeves in just a little bit. They're a little too baggy for my liking. I might take them in so that they're a little bit more like this. That would probably work a lot better. Yeah, I think that's what I'll do. So I would recommend you just go straight across for a doll at least. It'd probably work out a little bit better. So yeah, it's a very quick, easy, flip it wrong side out, stitch straight across, and then cut off the excess. Trim up your threads. All right. I'm going to switch her over into a white shirt just to match up. All right. Yeah, I like it. It's pretty cute. Perfect. Okay, so one last little detail I'm going to go ahead and add is I had this image on the front. Obviously it's too big for that, but it has this nice little kind of Ravenclaw emblem on it, and I have just taken some fabric tack and made a nice thin layer on the back. I'm allowing that to dry, and after it's dry I'm going to cut out around that, and then I'm going to glue that to the front of the gown so it just has a little bit of a detail that shows Ravenclaw on it. Okay, yeah, so I love that little detail there. So even if you don't have a printed piece that has something on it, I would at least like paint something. It doesn't even have to be super detailed, just a little kind of a shield there or something, just a solid shape. Anything would look cute and just kind of lend towards that, that design. So I love that. All right, thanks so much for watching, you guys. Hit that like button and that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.